Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking on Capnclyde's MTG. We got another leak report for you from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. Two more cards have snuck it out into the real world, sprying their eyes on the sun, and blatantly being very blurry as I track down the best picture I could find, and even the ones with text because, good lord, I can't read these things. So, with that said, let's hope that the text on this is right. And what they see is right. For the most part, I think it is, but there are some questions about what some of the numbers are, and maybe even some words, but we'll get into that later. So, before we get started, guys, remember to like, subscribe, hit your notification bell, put some comments down below, let me know what you think. And as always, remember, I'm not getting paid, and I don't like it. So, anyway, moving right along, first card that we got is looks like Resona Asari Commander, and that's obviously what that card says. Actually, you can actually read that part. So it's a one red and a white. It's a legendary creature of something as it sees the first light of the sun. It has haste. Whenever the commander deals combat damage to a player, if it doesn't have an indestructible counter, you put one on it, so that it becomes indestructible. Whenever combat damage is dealt to you, you remove an indestructible counter from it. So if she doesn't have one, you get one. So she can never have more than one. If you get damage, it goes away. So basically, it's indestructible until you punch them in the face. It says question mark 3. I don't even know where they got 3 at on this. But if this is a 3/3 for this with haste, that just seems really good, even as a legendary creature. I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of shenanigans um, with this card. Seems pretty good. Um, I don't see it getting a lot of play though. Red white's just honestly not really been a thing for a while. It's almost kind of sad, really. But who knows? Maybe this is going to be the card that's going to bring it up out of the ashes and make it great. Even though it's legendary, you can have more than one of these in play at a time. Unlike every other card that's busted that's not legendary. You know, questing beast, or any other white card. You know, like the certain 2-drop that puts 1/1 counters on anything during before combat. And so anyway, point being, cool as this is, it's probably only gonna be a commander card. It might be pretty good limited, not gonna lie, just because the indestructible counter can come in pretty handy. Because once you punch them in the face with them, you can then block with it forever. So it can really be an issue until someone gets through. So with that said, though, you got to remember there are some tricks to this. You know, if it has an indestructible counter on it, it says whenever combat damage is dealt to you, you remove the counter. So if it takes damage that would kill it, and then the counter comes off, this will die. So blocking something that's really big with this and letting a 1/1 punch you in the face is going to get this killed. So that's probably something to keep and be mindful of. There's going to be a lot of shenanigans going on. That shenanigan will definitely be something that somebody is going to do to you, especially in limited. So just remember that as we move on. Now, before we get to this next one, let me get this out of my system now. Why, God, would you make a card like this? Ugh. So, moving right along. Next, we have Genji, the Midnight Sky, and boy, is this thing really a beast dragon. So, 2 black and 3 for a 5/5 flying menace. Legendary Dragon Spirit. Now, as if that's not good enough, 5 mana for a 5/5 with flying and menace, they might as well just gave it trample so it could have flample like every other creature like this. But anyway, when Genji here, the Midnight Skies, dies, you get to choose one. Each opponent discards 2 cards and loses 2 life, or you can put a non-dragon creature card from your graveyard onto the battlefield under your control, and you lose 2 life. Now, how do I feel about this? Busted. So, for one, 2 black and 3 for a 5/5 flying menace creature is already way, way, way too good. Um, and the simple fact that it says each opponent discards 2 cards and loses 2 life when it dies means that if you do cast this on turn 5 and your opponent's like, oh, I'll immediately deal with that. Well, now you don't have any hand either, and you just lost 2 life. If that's the route you want to go. I mean, you're basically for 5 mana going to 3 for 1 them because they have to use a card to kill it and then discard 2 cards after they kill it. Now, Let's talk about worst case scenario. They have no cards in their hand because it is turn 5. You've laid this giant flying behemoth to punch them in the face and make them regret their life. They then top deck the oh so great, oh look, I drew my removal card from the top of the deck to ruin your day, or fetch it, or get it out of the graveyard, or whatever shenanigans they got going on. You simply say, oh, cool story, bro, no cards in hand. Let me just grab this non-dragon creature from my graveyard and just throw it onto the field, and I'll just take 2 life. Hope you're okay with that. So let's talk about things that can come out of the graveyard and just be disgusting. Well, let's talk about standard first. Toxrill, completely broken. There's that green thing that just has power equal in number of lands. When it comes into play, you just go ham with dropping lands and drawing cards. There's all kinds of other black cards. There's that guy from, can't remember his name off the top of my head. Uh, from Zendikar. He's a giant flying black guy that once he attacks, you got to pick something from the graveyard, put it into play. Yeah, sounds like a really good time. Let's see, what else? Let's see, they got a Runo Stormcloak. I'm kind of looking at some cards. Tovar's Huntmaster, yeah, that's a good thing. But in a black-green deck, yeah, fantastic. Already mixing Toxrill, that thing's disgusting. Let's see. Oh, let's go into Commander for a minute. So we have all the Commander goodies, which is everything. From Sarah's Emissary to Grizzlebrand to, oh God, the list just goes on and on. I can't tell you enough things that this can grab that is just disgusting. On a very large scale, Blightsteel Colossus. Sold one of those today. I'd love to see that come out of the graveyard for the cost of 5 mana. Ooh, what? Any of the Titans in Commander, like, oh my God. Anyway, I think you guys get the picture. I won't just keep going on because it's going to get more disgusting as I go, and I'll let you guys kind of figure it out. That's the fun of playing these kind of decks, is doing the kind of shenanigans that your opponent goes, what the beep. So, uh, now in modern and older formats, I don't know how good this would be. It might be a one-of key card just so you have an extra card you can get out of your deck for a combo that, when killed, will just continue to perpetuate your combo by pulling out a real dangerous card from your graveyard. Although I don't see that really happening, but it's always an option. Um, in standard, yeah, disgusting. This in limited, I don't even want to talk about this in limited. If you pull one of these in limited, you're not playing black. You better only have like 5 black cards in your entire limited pool. And even then, I'm gonna question you, because I would play mono. I don't know what's the worst color, white, blue. Pick a color and splash black for this beast, because it is disgusting. Now, granted, it is a mythic, but I think like this Dragon Spirit cycle, from what I've seen so far, is going to be pretty pricey because they're pretty good. But this one so far really takes the cake at 5 mana. Sweet mother of God. Um, just bleh. So, with that said, you feel free to put your comments down below if you think I'm overreacting. Trust me, I'm not. But hey, you never know. This could just be an easy 5/5 flyer. You don't need it for anything else. Oh God, why wouldn't you? But yeah, so this is probably the big takeaway of the day, is the revealing of this card. This is just insane in my personal opinion. And it's legendary. So okay, so all right, so let's talk about the legendary thing. Well, you will play all 4 of them because it's legendary. You can't have 2 and play at one time. Now, all right, how about this? So you swing, you punch your opponent in the face, and they're like, "Well, I'm not blocking that because you got a big nappy in your graveyard. I don't want you to get back." So you swing, and you're like, "Oh, cool, no block, take 5 damage. Let me cast this second one, so it's now untapped, pseudo vigilance, and destroy the one I swung with, i.e., dies, and I will now get a creature out of my graveyard, pay 2 life, put that creature into play, make your life miserable." Or on turn 5, if they manage to be doing some shenanigans, you get this on the field, you're just like, hey, I'm going to cast a second one of these. Yeah, there's a legend rule, but would you rather uh, counter me or stop me from playing the second one? Or just discard 2 cards and lose 2 life for 5 mana? I mean, that really makes this card as a legend not a legend, because it has 2 other modes for 5 mana. And as you guys know, getting stuff out of the graveyard for 5 mana is directly on par with rate. Normally it's a black and 4 or something like that. This one makes you lose 2 life, but it comes attached to a creature. I mean, it's got leg. Well, okay, technically it's got wings, but this is just I just can't say enough how disgusting this card is, and I think this is going to be a card that's really going to warp the format when it comes out. Um, and yeah, with the in this particular picture, we get the sweet maybe alternate art, full art definitely version, which is just sexy. This in foil, ugh, just makes me excited thinking about it. So, with all that said, yeah, I'm gonna play him. So, guys, thanks a lot for your time. There's just the 2 cards we got today. Sorry it took so long. I just wanted to get it all out of my system because the first kind of reveals for Neon Dynasty are pretty big. So, with all that said, remember, guys, until next time, be kind, and I hope to see you across from the game table.